Hey everybody, Ken from Perform Better Australia here. I'm over in sunny California checking out the Institute of Motion Mentorship and looking at the future of health and health coaching and how we as personal trainers can integrate programming and everything else. I've got with me one of the faculty members, John Sinclair from the Institute of Motion. Nice to spend some time with you and thanks for taking some time out. I think the big thing that came out of the summit this weekend and the big thing moving forward is programming. So programming is something that us as trainers are supposed to know how to do and get results and look at motivation and so on and so forth. But nobody really teaches how to program correctly and how to take it to the next level and look at every element of it. So what's important about programming? How does the Institute of Motion see programming, simplify it, and create a template around it to enhance personal trainers?
Yeah, it's a great question. You know, I think we've all been introduced to programming some part or stage in our career, and unfortunately that programming was really geared around athletics or bodybuilding. Yep. Right? Those were the two areas that we kind of went down, and we took those models and we went, yeah, let's do this for someone that wants to lose weight, right? And then we thought, well, that's great. We also know that if it's possible, if they want to lose weight and gain some muscle mass, well, the bodybuilding model has been pretty prevalent, right? If I want to be better at my sport, well, then obviously I've got some models of strength training, power training, things that I can do for my athleticism. But what am I going to do for someone that is 25 pounds overweight? They want to lose a little bit of weight, but they're also busy executives, right? And so how do we get this idea of balancing out their life and creating a more healthy approach to programming? So in saying that, we're designing systems and strategies to be able to make it real easy for our coaches and trainers to understand of how to take this concept of programming and apply it to health.
I think that's a really important point as well. So as personal trainers, we tend to be jugglers as well. So we take a little bit of this, we take a little bit of that, and we try and mesh it all together to try and give an outcome, which can work in some sense, but in the sense of the word, we are individuals and everybody has individual goals and they also have individual problems. So from a programming perspective, I think the difference with the Institute of Motion is we're able to identify disruptors to that and allow us to look at the overall holistic view, not just what's going on from a strength perspective or a power or an aerobic capacity, but also look inside. So you mentioned a lot about disruptors over the weekend. So what I know disruptors stop us from achieving our goals, but how do they fit into programming and so on?
Yeah, well, as most people know, that it's very difficult to change somebody or change their behavior. And in trying to do so, we tend to try to say, cut this, add this, and then also exercise a whole lot more. And the reality is most people don't fit exercise and behavior change very high on their priority list. So our goal is to do an intake of priorities and find out what are your priorities, what's so important to you, and then build our programming around that. So habit change is really about that unique individual and us customizing questions in a way that creates a value proposition and a way in which they're going to be able to take that information and be able to deliver it in a way that is obviously shows some autonomy, but allows us to get a bigger picture of what is important to them from a value standpoint. From there, that's crucial because now my programming can actually matter to them and it's something that they can take ownership of. And when you have that, now you've got a recipe that's going to work. So from a standpoint of how we coach for health, that's really what a health coach does, is we have in our back pocket all our background in personal training and coaching, athletics, that kind of stuff back in here. But if I really can't get to the meat and potatoes of what makes somebody tick, then this stuff isn't really going to help them because it hasn't helped them in the past.
I think you hit a really important point there. So we're good at training as personal trainers and we are good at programming, but the problem is we're not delving deep into what is coaching. So people need assistance and they have to be coached there. They don't, I think the point that you made is that we have to become part of their journey rather than tell them where to go.
That's exactly it. So our job as a coach is to take them from where they are to where they want to go, not tell them where to go. Right? Have you ever got directions from somebody and say, oh yeah, you turn this way and then you turn this way and you turn this way and just follow that and you'll be there? Not as accurate as if you had that sound in the ear. Maybe it's the Google person that's telling you, oh yeah, in 300 meters, make a right. Well, that's only one thing I have to focus on. I don't have to focus on anything but turn right in 300 meters. Then in the next 400 meters, you're going to turn left. So if I have someone that's guiding me along that process, that's really easy. So that's what coaching is. Programming is the actual roadmap. If the coach doesn't know when to turn right in 300 meters and when to turn left 400 meters after that, there's no chance that we're going to be able to create that success for the client. So you have to be not only the navigator, you also have to be the cartographer, if you will.
It's like getting stuck on a freeway and not being able to turn off or not knowing when to turn off.
That's exactly it. That's what it's like me driving in California, as you've experienced this weekend.
Absolutely. So programming essentials, and I think the other point that we need to make there is our industry as a whole is evolving. It's really, really changing just from a trainer's perspective, and fitness is just a small component of life. And we can get those small things right for a time frame, but life goes on and we need to look at not just fitness but health. You really hit that on the head. Our industry is evolving to coaching, but coaching for health and longevity.
Yeah, and that's really our POV at Institute of Motion is we have to create this concept that fitness is a subset of health. And if I have health, then I can have fitness, I can have performance, I can have wellness, I can have anything that I want in my life, but health kind of trumps it all. It's the umbrella for all of it. What's interesting is that we don't often coach that, right? As we coach on what's going on in the gym, and then we're like, okay, see you next Tuesday, right? Meanwhile, that's 4 or 5 days away from now, right? And so our goal is to, what if we could give them tangible things that they could anchor to that are meaningful back to that value proposition? If we can give them one thing to do each week, or each day for the rest of the week, and they come in Tuesday and they feel better about themselves, then boom, now we're on that road that's going uphill towards their success.
So we're actually empowering our clients to take control, and we're guiding them up the mountain as a guide, and we're with them on their journey rather than saying, here it is, you've got to go there.
That's right.
So empowerment, programming, looking at obstacles with disruptors and bringing it all together to create the roadmap and the template for the future. So we're looking at coaching rather than training, being part of their journey and giving them the reasons why so that they can have longevity for life.
That's precisely it.
So that's the difference with the Institute of Motion, and you should learn more about it if you want to come on this journey of programming and longevity and variability and transition from a trainer in the fitness industry to a health coach for longevity for life. Institute of Motion mentorships, check them out. Check out the Institute of Motion website or the Perform Better Australia website. Thanks very much for your time, John.
You bet.
It was a great discussion on programming, and I look forward to having more with you.
Yeah, thank you.